Hey everybody, my name is Kozy, and welcome back to the channel. I apologize, no video on Wednesday, but my internet went out, and then my parents came over the next day, and then I got very busy at work, and you know how that shit goes. It's just life. What can I say? But we're here with Regiments, Iron Curtain. It's a military real-time strategy game that I picked up off of Steam a little while ago. I don't know if I've ever played a real-time strategy on my channel, but ever since I played Tom Clancy's End War, I think that game came out in 2009. I was playing that game. For some reason, it just does it for me. I think the only other game other than End War that I've played that I really enjoyed as far as RTS goes was the Halo Wars games. I really enjoyed those. But ever since then, I've had issues finding an RTS, like a military RTS, that really checks a bunch of boxes for me. They're usually always missing one or two things, and I can't bring myself to enjoy it. But Regiments, Iron Curtain. Downloaded the demo, really enjoyed it, and I want to play it a little bit here for all of y'all today. Now, there is a campaign. It's okay. The AI kind of cheats because you only have a limited number of units, but it seems like the AI can just keep throwing shit at you. So, instead of trying to run the whole campaign gauntlet, we're just going to do skirmish. Been playing skirmish, been having a swell time. Let me get some of this stuff set up real quick. Okay, I'm not going to give a full rundown on all the different facets of the game, but real quickly here, time limit 60 minutes. Probably not going to use that whole time. We got a few different attack modes, or not attack modes, game modes. I prefer attack. I think it's the most interesting and it keeps things moving nicely. I'm going to just pick a random map. Let the game choose a random time of day. We got clear, cloudy, hazy. There's sunset, dusk, sunset, night, all that good stuff. I'm just going to let that pick randomly too. I'm going to leave all this stuff normal. So, for me, and I upped the victory points to 1500. It just lets the game go on a little bit longer, because if we keep it at the default 1000, it's moves a little too quickly. So, now we got to pick our unit, or our division rather. So the thing about this game, I don't know if it's just me, or if I just don't understand how this stuff works, but it seems to be, both for myself and the AI, like 1st Brigade, 3rd Armored Division, over here on the right side. You see we got tanks, M1, A1s, and we got some infantry. Thing with tanks, they just never pull their weight, ever. Every time I try to use tanks, they get fucked over in kind of silly ways. Again, I'm not going to go right now into the depths of like how the game flows. We'll just see as we're going. But for the most part, you know, there's infantry, there's engineers, there's mortars, artillery, anti-air, recon units, helicopters, all that good stuff. They all seem to pull their weight, and they all have their quirks, you know, their strengths, their weaknesses, except for tanks. Every time I try to use them, they just, whether they miss their shots or they get ran up on by infantry and blown up, all that stuff, they just never work for me. So for that reason, I'm going to look through here. We're going to try to find a division that has majority infantry and like a tank hunter. Let me find a good one, and we'll talk about it a little bit. All right, I think for this fight, I'm going to go with the Kampfgruppe Grün. That is a German division. As you can see up top, so we got a Leopard. That's a scout vehicle. 1 tank. 4 infantry-based units, an HQ vehicle, which is going to improve everyone in its radius's combat effectiveness. We've got artillery and an anti-air. So that sounds pretty solid. I just let the computer pick the rest of this stuff. I've rotated the NATO, so I'm playing NATO forces with an AI ally. And then it was going to be Warsaw Pact, only because I've been playing the Warsaw Pact for the past few times I've already played through this stuff this morning. It's all looking good to me. Let's go to war, baby. Okay. Looks like we're either early morning or early evening. That's fine. If the map does generate at night, you get a special ability over here where you launch flares, artillery flares, and that'll brighten up an area, which is cool, but not going to factor into what we're doing here. It doesn't look like there's a lot of hill space, like elevated terrain in this map. Except for over here, but there's not really any objectives over there, so it looks like we got a hill over here just off to the right, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to really give us the edge that we need. So if we look at this unit, their vision is out to 2,400 meters. If we look at this range, that's not really going to do us much good. I mean, it will scout this area in front of us, but I don't know. I mean, this is just the beginning of the match, so I guess we could go ahead and move them over there. Instead, don't move. Well, there's no cover up there. Shit, that sucks. You know what? I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. I'm going to go ahead and just bring them up here, see if they can scout anything. Going to ask them to hold fire so they don't fucking give away their position. There's a lot of things going on in this game. One of them is the presence of this stealth modifier that you can see in the bottom right over there. So the scout vehicles or the recon vehicles sort of rely on not being seen. They do have some offensive capability, but it's if they get hit by a few rockets or something, they're fucking done. So tank, not really too concerned about. So we're going to leave him in the reserve for now. I am going to call in all of my infantry and just move them up this way. We're going to use this forest here as a little staging area. Hopefully there's no issues between here and there. If there are, we should have enough infantry to deal with it. But mainly I'm looking to get up to here and then go from there. Now, the enemy is already dug in this map. Like, it's likely they'll have some units that are emplaced around here on the sides, but shouldn't be too many. So what I'm hoping to do right now is, if we can get the recon vehicle up here, maybe get our infantry about to right here just to move them forward. I'm going to try to rotate around Alpha and get a good position in the woods, and then we can sort of push in from here, hopefully, while our AI ally is sort of pushing from the front, and that'll get us a nice flank going, and that should make things easier to take. But we'll see. We're now out of... Oh, we're not out of points. Okay, do I want a headquarters vehicle, or I want anti-air? I don't think they'll be calling in much in the way of anti-air in the beginning, so we can leave that in the reserve. We'll move that headquarters vehicle up there. What's the radius? Pretty big. If the HQ is parked here and not seen, we might be able to improve the combat effectiveness of the units once they move up there. Let's go and get this baby rolling, though. So obviously, because of this, with this game mode, you're just trying to take objectives, and as you take them, you'll start gaining points up here. So as long as we hold points, we'll be earning, or as long as we hold objectives, we'll be earning points. I mean, a strategy could be to like just hold 1 point, but then it just comes into a factor of how long your game is, because obviously if you're just holding 1 point as opposed to the majority of them, you're not going to be earning that much in the way of victory points. So that headquarters vehicle is going to be parked there. I'm going to prep my... That's not what I meant to do. That one, that one, that one, and that one. I'm going to get them right here facing forward, just ready to push. Oh-ho! Okay, that's good. Draw all that fire. Saw some rockets come out of this tree line up here, so we know some dudes are up there. What kind of range are we looking at? Alright, if we move the infantry... Currently, when infantry is moving around over large distances, they pack themselves up in these armored personnel carriers. But at the drop of a dime, we can get them to come out. So they're going to be offloading right there. And that increases their abilities of full combat effectiveness. You can see they're already shooting. Homies are getting a little excited. I would have preferred that they didn't do that, at least until they move into position and get armored up. You see right now, my Leopard recon vehicle is already taking a shit ton of fire because it got spotted. So we're going to go ahead and evacuate them. The only thing evacuation does, it pulls them out of the fight. They keep their experience over here on the side. And then you get like a little timer. And then once that timer counts down, you can call them back in the battle, no real issue. So I want to get these guys to start swinging out. Hopefully they don't have too much resistance. Now, of course, as they're packed in, these armored personnel carriers, they are a little bit faster moving. but they're not at full combat effectiveness, and if we run up against some enemies, it's going to take them a minute to unpack. But these guys seem to be holding up well. See, all these all these guys over here are already dug in, as you would expect them to be. I'm trying to move these lads up slowly. See, they're starting to take fire from the right over here. These guys are going to be tough, but they're not going to hold out forever. I'm going to go ahead and get my supply vehicle up here. Unpack everyone. Oh shit, that sucks. I'm gonna move them into this tree line. Oh, good. Well, that helped a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna get these guys to move into the tree line. Hopefully we can break contact with over here. I don't really need to be fucking with them. Once the supply vehicle comes up, it's gonna do some healing. Everyone's still... We've got plenty of vehicles up here, so that's good. I get these guys to press the attack inward. Let's see how that works. I'm surprised, actually. These guys are almost done. Since we've got some extra points, been calling some napalm over there. What kind of... And use our artillery on this point, since it hasn't really had much done to it so far.
New task force available.
Alright, sweet. That was the task force part. That was weird. Anyway, I'm assuming everything's still working because I'm still seeing shit on OBS, so hopefully. Mike died there for a second. I don't know what the hell that was about. Anyway, we can call these in. It just gives us additional units to call in down here. Sadly, it does not give us extra deployment points, so we still have to wait. Right now, though, I'd say we're decent on infantry, but you can never have too many, especially as some are falling back. I need to have some other ones push up there to supplement their position. Again, not a huge fan of the tanks, but we've already have an anti-air vehicle that we'll be calling in here in a little bit. I hate these things that launch a bunch of rockets because they eat through your reserve ammo. So I'm going to avoid that as well. I think I'm going to go with the Antwerp team, mainly because we have two attack helicopters. That's going to be able to... Whoa. Lost all my fucking audio. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So, obviously we don't have enough points to call them in yet. We do have enough for another infantry unit, but I don't think that'll be necessary. And even if it is, I want them to stay at full health and full ammo until we can, until I actually need them to come forward. Looks like these guys are dealing with that pretty well. I'm impressed, actually. That was very good. For some reason, the AI called in a strike right there. Not sure what the point is, but they can do what they want with their points. As long as they're not eating away at my shit. See if the artillery can maybe land a few lucky shots there. Actually, that's not a good idea. I'm gonna go ahead and keep these dudes. So now these guys are refitting, rearm, hitting them from the rear position, if you know what I'm saying. Go ahead and get these guys moved up here. So the difference between... Alright. We good? I had a loose cable there. I had to fucking switch the ports. Everything Gucci? I assume so. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. These guys are gonna refit, rearmed. These guys are pushing in from the flank. I think I was talking about the difference between the attack move and the standard move is if you just issue this standard move like this, and just tell them to go to a spot, they will. But if they start taking fire, they'll just keep trying to move, which is good in certain situations. But usually, you want them to stop and return fire in a concentrated way. That way you have a better chance of actually surviving the push as is necessary. Alright, so let's keep going. I'm going to have them attack and push in. They're taking artillery fire from back there and over here. That fucking sucks. Get these guys moved up to here. These guys are going to take up that position. Okay. Wait a second. I got to queue up some moves. So all these dudes are doing pretty good. They're down one vehicle, which sucks, but they're still combat effective for at least a little bit longer. So I think what I'm going to have these two in the back do is push up to here, try to make sure that none of the enemies push up from this field. That way this team will be good to push over this way and start taking out that artillery. You see these tanks hanging out over here. Thankfully, they're emplaced. Not getting the difference between units, but there are certain units that are in place and they just won't move. This looks like them. In that case, assuming I can get across this field, I can sort of hit them from their flank and take them out. And then, if that's the case, our AI allies will have a bit of an easier time. So, I'm going to get these guys, fast move to the forest, and then I'm going to have them deploy facing that way. And I'm going to move the supply line up a little bit just to get these guys refit. Once they get in their fortified positions. See, this is a reconnaissance vehicle. I suppose... Ooh, that one took a hit. But given their greater sight lines, I don't know. It's like I said, they're not very good offensively, but if they can get to a point where, you know, the enemy can't shoot back because they're too far away, then that's pretty good. But like I said, bro, that's the AI team. They can do whatever the hell they want with their points. I don't really care. All right, let's go ahead and get these dudes moved. Let's see. Where's a good sight line? So they can watch here. And this one sort of take the other side of that tree line. About like that. They're under attack. That's okay. Oh, damn. Oh, Bubba's taking some hits.
Zone captured.
Try to slam them a little bit. Alright, good. These guys are chilling. Well, let's see what I can get pushed up now. I want to go ahead and get this anti-air moved up to this streamline. Obviously, it's anti-air. Doesn't have a lot of good offenses for ground forces, so... Or defense to ground forces, so it needs to stay behind the line. But, with the ground... I mean, you can see, it can reach all the way out here with its high-altitude anti-air. So it doesn't need to be up on the front line. These guys are squared away. HQ vehicle. I want the HQ vehicle to move up about right here. That way, as these guys push across, they can be a little bit more coordinated. Given that I know exactly where these guys are, I'm going to go ahead and drop some napalm so they're less of an issue once my infantry forces start jumping over. Hell yeah, dude. Not even interrupted at all. Alright. Unfortunately, there's not much cover in this point. I think what I'm going to have these guys do, push up to here, while this other team actually goes in and tries to get the job done. Where am I at? Not too many points. Alright, break time for a second. What I would like to happen here, I'm going to keep this artillery team online. I'm going to move them a little bit so the AI enemy doesn't know exactly where they are. I would like to keep them online until we take Bravo and Echo. Then, just as provide support, and then I'll have the artillery retreat to heal and rearm. That'll take like a few seconds. It's not going to be a big deal, but I'd like to have them on station. Going across here is just a big open field where there's not a lot of objectives, so I'm anticipating a few of those emplacements, like we saw those tanks over here earlier and all these guys, but I'm not expecting a whole lot in the way of active infantry. So, or active defenses, I should say. And you see, this is good because the AI is pushing in sort of in the front. So as these guys push forward, they should have a decent amount of cover. Or at least distractions. These guys are under attack, so I'm going to move them up here. These dudes are holding the line, which is good. The enemy artillery doesn't know exactly where they are. Fucking, that was a direct hit on the supply line, though. There's their anti-air. I can't believe that anti-air didn't shoot at my jets as they came in, but... Again, maybe it was distracted. Who knows? Alright.
New task force available.
That was clean. Look at that. We got the AI in there taking that. They're on retreat. My anti-air is suppressing that Warsaw enemy air. So only one of the jets got to drop their munitions that time. Which is always great. The fewer bombs dropped on allies, the better. We took Bravo. For some reason, they moved out of Echo, but okay. Don't worry about it, guys. I'll take care of that. And we're going to sort of preempt this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get that artillery to retreat so we can get all healed up and back to full power. That is enemy artillery. Which is now fully destroyed. Perfect.
Zone captured.
Hell yeah! So, given this reach, their Bradley's under attack. Looks like from mortars. Mortars and long-range artillery. So since we've already taken Bravo, I'm going to go ahead and move these guys out front. I'll be doing that with these guys here shortly. I'm going to get some more infantry up here. And see, I'm getting these points back sort of at a double speed because I got refunded the points that we used to deploy the artillery. Recon vehicle would be good if it holds fire and it doesn't get spotted. So that way I can actually scope out. Homie's just charging up there. Okay, bit of an intermission. Radio intercept reports a counterattack with 1 to 2 platoons involved. Okay, so this is the thing where I'm talking about the AI kind of cheats, and it definitely does this in the operations, but it'll do it here too, don't worry. And I know this because, so at one point on a different map, say I was trying to do a big flank around here, right? I had a few units in position up in where this area would be, right? I was moving one up here. Got that message, said, hey, there's 3 to 5 platoons going to be a counterattack. I looked, the dude said, oh, we're under attack. I looked, they just spawned the fuck in around my guys. So obviously they died. And obviously I can't do that. I can't spawn any of my forces in a forward position. So that's what I say, like the AI kind of cheats a little bit. But, so with that aside, that's just for y'all's information. If it seems like, you know, these guys are pushing out here and then somehow enemies like get in this field or start pushing from this way, even though we have people up here, that's how. They fucking just spawn them in. But this leopard's pushing up. He's going to move on the fastest path up through here. Obviously, we want him to stay and cover. These guys can see a decent ways, but not really past this tree line up here. So I'm going to push these guys up the anti-air just so it can sort of get more of a jump if airplanes start to come in. Are those friendly? Yes. Okay. I was about to say, speak of the devil. All right. Get these guys in position. Dude, hell yeah, bro. That was a good strike. So we've got artillery. All right, so there's dudes way over here on the map. Oh my god. And that's what's kind of cool about this game, you know, even though you see this, you have this huge map, but there's only objectives listed like right up the middle. The enemy will still utilize these far edges with, like, here it's artillery, and I'd be willing to bet between that artillery and my forces here, there's quite a few entrenched enemy positions. So I could send some infantry. I mean, we look at the scale, right? So that outer rim is what, 4,000 meters? So that's probably about 8 kilometers away. I could send a task force to go over there and try to destroy that artillery. Is there really a point? I don't think so, because A, the enemy will just respawn the artillery and just fucking put them wherever they want. And B, once I get my artillery back out here, if I start hammering their position, that'll sort of disrupt them. It'll give us enough time to maneuver. So, I mean, if there was an objective like over here, it might be worth it. But as it currently sits, I don't really think that's the case. This is an anti-tank unit. This is... Okay. That's enemy rifleman. I'm going to napalm that. Oh, I had a new task force. Yeah, wasn't even paying attention. Okay, so the only thing that tanks are like really good at is, you know, engaging at distance. But like I was talking about before, and I haven't really gotten a chance to show you, but even when they're engaging at distance, a lot of their rounds will either miss or bounce off enemy armor. And, you know, is that a limit to my understanding of the game and how to properly use them? Probably. But I prefer more ground pound and infantry, anti-tank. Really, I guess I can't say ground pound because I like helicopters too. I'm just not a fan of working with enemy or allied armor. So, but since we have 2 helicopters, we'll probably not have enough points to call them both in at the same time. So we should be good with helos. And you see some of these tanks, like that's a heavy boy, right? There's 4 leopards in each one of these units. It costs 245 deployment points, which is going to take a while to stack up. So that's sort of the other reason I avoid tanks, because it takes so much to deploy them, and I can't get them to do enough work for me to justify. Here, I think I'm going to go with this one. We got an additional 2 infantry. You said that, you see that costs 140 points as opposed to some of these guys down here, like they just cost 50, you know? So obviously they're better prepared, have heavier weapons. And then this will be a mortar unit, which is just same principle as artillery. It's just more localized. There are such things as companies, which is like 3 infantry units smashed into 1 unit, which is cool. And I like using, but I don't see any on here, sadly. So I'm going to go with the Goliath Mechanized Task Force. Don't have enough money to push them up, though. So, called these guys in to try to help bust up this enemy emplacement. Yeah. So these people using the anti-air were able to force 1 jet off, so only 1 got to drop the payload. Well, it's decently effective. A lot of bodies down there. Okay, enough fucking around. I gotta get these guys moved up. So, I'm gonna try to keep a wide area behind the allies here. That way my guys can engage when they need and as they can, but we're not running up into shit before we're ready. So this should be good. Hopefully they can get some good shots on this enemy anti-tank. Got our anti-air there. I want to have the headquarters vehicle go ahead and move up, and same with that infantry. We're going to move them right there. I do have enough to call in a helicopter. I think I'm going to do that. And the reason I like calling it helicopter, you see it costs 120, but they run out of ammo very quickly. They sort of dump rounds, dump rockets, and then you can retreat them, and you get those points back. So, it's sort of like a roundabout way of using these extra abilities over here. And, for better or worse, these guys are... Whoopsie. I'm gonna have them start attacking these tanks. Just go ahead and try to take them out. Bring in some artillery. Whoopsie. Dang, bro, they're getting torn up. Maybe I spoke too soon about the... go ahead and retreat them. These tanks will hold position just a few seconds longer. Thank you very much. Okay, that was a horrible attack. But we can get these guys. That'll help a little bit. You see, obviously these helicopters have massive range, massive vision. Try to bring them around to the back so we're dividing these forces a bit. The thing is, with tanks, they can't really fight well up close, so if I can push or if I can keep this infantry unit trying to get closer.
New task force available.
Yeah. Give me a second. Hold on, damn it. Who just went down? I can't even fucking see. I've got 2 shits stacked on. Alright, sweet. Helicopters are still good. They also have a limit on where they can attack. Like in this red circle, I don't think they can attack anything. So that can definitely be a weakness, but it's alright. The infantry took care of it. Move these guys up there so they can get entrenched and we can sort of move our supply line. Keep these guys kitted out. Shit. I've been fucking around back here. AI pushed up and took Delta. Sweet. Is there anything I want to pull out here? Kilos, they are at 83% main ammo, so they've still got a good amount of juice left in them. I'm going to go ahead and have these guys... You see those artillery rounds coming in again from over there? Ooh, shit. What are these boys doing? What the fuck are y'all doing? Alright, let me think about this for a second. Okay, I'm going to divide my forces here a little bit. I'm going to bring up 2 infantry to help to help hold Delta. And I'm going to have these other guys pull back over to this tree line to help deal with whatever these units are pushing in from this direction. Namely, I think I want that one, and let's go ahead and push them too. If they wind up taking this out, these engineers, if they wind up holding their own decently well, then we can just mount these infantry back up and move them up to the front line pretty quickly. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead to... Actually, I'd rather get my artillery back. So I'm going to leave that alone. Do we have any of these that I really care about? I don't think these change throughout the course of the game. Like, we've picked 2 so far. There's only 2 missing, so... It's not like there's a random pull every time. Really, I don't want many of these units. It's like HQ's good and all this stuff is good, but it takes so many points to deploy them. And I could be wrong, but I think throughout the game, this is just the deployment points goes up at a steady counter. Unless you retreat a unit and then you get some extra points back. So it's not like as you take more points, you get them faster and faster, which means you can deploy more. I don't think that's how it works. So I think I'm going to go with this since it'll give us some more infantry. It'll give us an anti-tank, which is good. And it'll also give us some artillery smoke, which we can use to help cover some advances. I like that. I'm going to call them in. I think you only get 3 per game. Yeah, so that'll be it down there. Want my artillery back, so I'm going to hold off on calling in anyone else, at least for now. This is on countdown. These are all... Ooh, shit. That
Zone
friendly.
captured.
Yeah, alright, so I'm actually going to have the helicopters double back here. Well, I'm going to try to keep them at as much of a range as I can, because these guys probably have anti-air. And make sure these guys fucking dismount, these guys mount up so we can assist, since these guys decided to unmount so quickly. Yeah, the helicopters dumped some good rockets in there. And with these guys, alright, that's one down. Get them to deploy. I'm gonna get these guys to deploy. These guys out of ammo? No, they are not. They just can't see shit. I'm gonna hook them around this way. Yeah. Alright, they're retreating. Oh shit. Alright, go ahead and get them out of here. Yeah, they fucking lost it, damn. It's either anti-air or this recon unit over here took them out. Make sure these... Alright, good. We need to move these guys to cover. Go ahead and say this guy can go ahead and start shooting. Want to move him to an area we can actually get shots on these dudes. Move him there. Okay, how these guys doing up here? God damn it. Oh, I think I pulled by. I forgot. I miscounted. I was going to have 2 up here, but like I said, I fucked it up. So that's my bad. But they're still moving to about right there. That'll give them a good sight line. We can pull them back if we need. Retreating. Retreating. Good. Good. Very good. Alright. Have these guys go ahead and hold fire. I'm going to move the recon unit up here. Move these guys back this way. Actually, I'm going to move them over here so they can get resupplied. Hopefully they can haul some ass because they're taking rounds. Still got 3 vehicles though, that's good. 3 vehicles, 4 vehicles, good. So these guys are gonna, this one, the 4 vehicle one's gonna go back to full health. These 2 are gonna get to 75%. I'm a bit surprised that I'm not seeing anyone out here trying to push Delta. But you know what, we take a good thing when we can get it. Okay. Artillery. These guys dug in. I don't know. I'm gonna try to soften them up. Suppression is a thing in this game. So, like you see, suppressed, that's gonna reduce their accuracy and might cause them to panic, which is gonna make them less combat efficient towards this tank unit. See, I think my artillery got these tanks suppressed. Still hitting the shots, though. Good to know. Hold on, pause for a second. They're dug in that way. Okay, I think we can get this team, go ahead and push over here and clear them out. How are we looking here? Still taking ammo. Still working on it. Okay, so, hold on for a sec, please. Clear that. These 2 units. I want, damn it. Why is this so hard to fucking select? Not the supply. APC and that one. Yes, thank you. We're going to fast move up to here. And then queue up a move, attack into the force, just in case they get there before everything's cleared out. We don't want to get them fucked over. Anti-air still covering a significant amount of the playing field, but I want to move them up again. Just so, like, as the jets come in from this direction, way up here, we want to start shooting at them as fast as possible to get them to pull off. Increase that chance they're not going to be able to drop their payload where the enemy wants it. I'm going to call in one of these M2A2 infantry. Get them to move up to here. That leaves me with enough with the Jaeger units. Move them up to... See, my first instinct is to try to get them around here so they can perform a flank on these tanks. Which obviously... we take out the tanks because we're approaching their flank, but a little bit concerned that there's enemies out here that we don't know about. And when you're in this fast move, how do I say this? When you're trying to get the units to move quickly, it's a thing called fast move, where they're going to avoid any of these obstacles or anything that'll slow them down. Problem is that route will sometimes take them right in the middle of the enemy. And if you're not paying attention over here, like I've got these guys moving this way, they're moving up and there's an enemy right here. They'll stay in the APCs, drive right past them, start taking shots, losing vehicles. So I'm going to move them to right there since pretty sure there's no one in this area. We can just work from there. Go ahead and get them to dismount at full firepower. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and retreat these guys. We're going to have 2 pull in there. Move that headquarters vehicle. Go ahead and fast move our other vehicle up here, or other infantry units rather. Hell yeah. There's some of that overwhelming force up front. Okay. Give me a second. Probably be good to divide a little bit so we can have one of these dudes shooting from here. The other one come over this way, start getting shots that direction. Go ahead and move that headquarters unit up here so it's in a good spot. Friendly or enemy? Looks like friendly. Yep. Move that anti-air up. Move our scout forward. Nice fucking hits. See, that's kind of what I'm talking about. They weren't suppressed until after they dropped their payload, which is what I want to avoid. I move homeboy up here. These dudes are still trying to move. Moving from the rear to the front takes a long time in this game. So, since they're already suppressed, I'm going to drop some artillery on these dudes. Try to soften them up. They're within range, but not within vision, so hopefully, once this Leopard moves up, we'll be able to spot these tanks for this infantry. Hell yeah, boys. That's what I'm talking about. Rotate back around. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and... These guys attack moving here just in case there's enemies in the forest. I want them to go ahead and start attacking them as opposed to just getting shot in the face. Yeah, see, now they're engaging them because this Leopard... Does it have visual? I'm not super well versed in this game, or like how one unit seeing another unit or an enemy unit can affect a unit over here firing at them. Maybe I should just withhold saying, like, oh yeah, this is what's happening, because it fucking might not be. Go ahead and get them out, because as you can see, the vision's very limited once you get in the forest, so you sometimes won't know that there are enemies in there until you're right up on them. And in that case, you want to have these guys already out of their vehicles, ready to start fighting. So since this is a recon unit, I'm going to plot this course real quick so it doesn't get fucking shredded, making a stupid... Okay, so like, for example, right? If that was a fast move, I wanted to go there. In this case, well, it's a bad example. In this case, it's going to go down this road and chill there, which I think I will let it do. But sometimes, say, like, if there was a little bit, like a patch of forest right here, it would auto chart a course this way and then bring you towards the enemy and around it and then try to put you in the spot where you want to go, which, of course, puts you out in the open. And that's how you start taking fire, so... But in that case, I'm just going to let them go ahead. Oh, I see there's dudes up there. So since I know that, I'm going to let these guys advance. Okay. Whoa! Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and evacuate them. Good, see, suppressed. Not worried about it. Move these guys over here. I need this supply vehicle to dump supplies fucking somewhere useful. Anti-tank unit, sort of approaching from the flank, but I think that our allied recon vehicle is gonna... God damn. Maybe it was a mistake to not go deal with them, but I don't think so. We'll be alright. We'll be alright. Sort of a nice thing about this game is that, impressively, the AI, the allied AI is pretty capable in and of itself, at least at this difficulty level, because you see, they're actually, overall, they're the ones that have been pushing the attack much more than I have. Now, to completely counter what I just said, these guys, as they approach this, this little impediment here, this barbed wire, instead of just going 2 feet the fuck around it, they feel the need to stop and dismantle it unless I direct them around it.
Zone capture.
But it's okay. It's not a big deal. They're not taking fire right now, so I'm not too worried about it. Since I haven't deployed anyone recently, we have a lot of points. We'll move up both helicopters. That should provide quite a bit of firepower moving forward. But for the sake of getting our guys some action, let's get them to move. Oh, well, I say that. Now they're saying they're going to counterattack. Now, obviously, it doesn't tell us where. So we could lose some rear positions here. If they countered that hard, They might or they might not. I honestly don't know. So since these guys... Give me a second. What do we have? Vehicles 4 out of 4. Okay, in that case, I'm going to move them back to rearm and refit because they have the potential to go to full durability. I'm going to go and get them in this circle. This guy, see, he's only able to go up so high because he's missing a vehicle. Same with this one. So, what I want these guys to do, since we know there's enemies over here, I'm going to have them push up, take cover in this urban environment, and while they're moving, these guys are going to cover. They're still moving. I'm going to have these dudes move up here. And we're going to try to get a good flank on Charlie. Bring this shit home.
Zone captured.
Have these guys support. See what I mean? What happened right there? They fucking hooked. They came out of the forest, hooked around out here, and then came in. And if we were still fighting across this field, and I wanted them to move, and instead, you know, my idea was that they'd fast move through here, which is my fault. I forgot how the game functions, but it will throw your troops right out into the open to move them back to where you're trying to move them. But it's all good. Move these guys forward. A little bit of scouting action. Okay, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But go ahead and kill these dudes. Get that helicopter out of here. If he's even going to make it out. Guess not. Yeah, it's sort of the trade-off. As far as helicopters go, they are pretty weak to anything anti-air. Even if it's just your standard rounds. Alright, since these guys are so entrenched, going to call in that. Have them start attacking back here. I just saw that tank. Damn, bro. They had a bunch of shit stacked up back here. And see, in this case, we actually do want to move them forward manually because the tanks are so crippled by close combat. Hell yeah, bro. Ain't even worried about it. You got those cluster munitions over there, so they're all fucked up. I'll tell you what's next. Go up that way. Oh, fuck. This is working out really nicely. Now, pause. These dudes are sort of covering the back, so I think I'm going to leave them there. By and large, we're going to move up an extra infantry unit, since these guys are squared away. I'm just going to move them in a straight line path through these woods here. It's going to be slow, but at least it'll be relatively safe. While these dudes are setting up, try to make use of this flanking position we've got. Now, what I should have been doing, my bad, since these guys are pushing the attack, I really want them with that HQ bonus. Since we're in the woods, we've got cover to the left over here. I want these guys to rotate, face these dudes. Actually going to bring them back a little bit. Clear the way for that napalm. Then I will have them rally. Ooh. Damn, bro, they got fucked up. Oh, poor dudes. They got hit with napalm and some just regular bombs. I have them rotate. These guys are still making their way through. Please stay in the woods. Actually going to have our supply truck move up here as well. And damn, the AI is already in there. So, I mean, this was kind of a special case because normally it'll take me maybe down to about the 20-minute mark to really do like a domination win and you know, get to 1,000 or 1,500 points. But man, in this case, our allied AI was so fucking aggressive that they just fucking stuck it in there. So
Captured. Total
ouch.
domination achieved.
And you see all we've got to do is wait for these points to tick up. So we've pretty much won. There's not really a way that the enemies are going to retake a point in enough time to matter. Because obviously I'm still earning points until they make this objective neutral. Looking like a dub for us. And we didn't lose too many units either. I think, yeah, they must have made it out because they have that promotion. Never even used those tanks. The only ones we were losing was helicopters. Tragically. Yeah, bro, that shit was pretty good. And see, that's the type of stuff I like. I really enjoy playing against AI. When you're playing against other people, sometimes it's not as fun.
Completed.
But this allows, you know, a much more controlled experience. We fucking won. 84 dead on our team versus 166. It's almost double. Wounded, missing. I don't know what missing actually means or if that in any way affects your overall score in the game. Not that it really matters because we fucking won. Yeah. Look at that. 1.63. Nice. Well, all right then. There you have it. So like I said, I haven't really played RTSs on this channel before, mainly because I had such a hard time finding them. But between this game, Regiments, and you may have heard Broken Arrow, set to release this year at some point, the full release, but I just requested access for the early gameplay, and it was granted immediately, so that's awesome. I watched some gameplay of that last night. Looks fucking crisp, so I'm very excited to get into that. Obviously, I want to get to know the game before I record it, but yeah, I'm really glad that I found a few good RTS games, because it's been such a long time that I've been, you know, wanting a game not like End War, like Halo Wars, but just a solid RTS that is just quick and fun to play. It has good AI that puts up a challenge and, you know, not forcing me to play against other people. Anyway, glad I could finally find an RTS, and I'm glad I could share it with all of y'all. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope the world's treating you well. I hope you're treating yourself well. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing y'all here next time. Bye, everybody.